Taking a quick look at the markets, we see that we are off 104 points right now, down triple digits as we head into this holiday weekend. You know, as we go into the holiday weekend, it's an opportunity to kind of assess, right, where we all are. And a lot of people like to think about where they're heading. Well, you know, the age of lifetime careers is totally over. Today, the average person changes jobs around a dozen times, with workers spending on average only about 4 years in every job. And as the economy improves, well, you know what? Those numbers, they're probably going to go up. They'll increase as well. You know, as a society, we need to adapt, whether it's to a new job, whether it's to a new situation, any kind of change in your life. As an economy, we need to adapt. Individuals need to be able to do that. And you know what? My next guest did just that herself. Author Sara Goff was a New York City fashion designer who left her career to follow her dreams and to make a difference in the world. She started a charity, Lift the Lid, supporting underprivileged schools in America. And the main heroine in her book, it's a wonderful, wonderful book called I Always Cry at Weddings, had to make similar choices. I think something we can all relate to. I myself had career changes. Sara's here with me right now as a part of our summer reading series. I Always Cry at Weddings is the book. And your heroine, Ava, Sara, went through a lot of monumental change and managed to come out ahead. She plowed through all of this. Is there a lesson in there for everyone?
Absolutely.
In America?
And Trish, it's so great to be here. What a privilege. What a great opportunity to talk with you about my story in the book. And yeah, I believe that entirely. You know, here's a quote I love from C.S. Lewis that says, experience is a brutal teacher, but you learn, my God, do you learn. And sometimes, whether we are forced to change because we lose our job, or maybe our kids grow up and they leave the home, or we have to relocate, many, many reasons that come up throughout life that forces us to change. Or in the case with Ava in the story, where she has this nagging feeling that she has gotten herself on the wrong track and she needs to make herself change. Either way, you're out of your comfort zone and you're oftentimes facing the unknown. So you have to muster up a lot of courage, you have to keep an open mind, and you have to just be ready to make mistakes and try things and learn. Sometimes you have to, in her case, she had to start at the bottom. I think she started at negative. And she had a lot to learn. She's not a perfect character. She's a flawed character, but the beautiful thing...
No one is perfect.
Yeah, who is perfect, right. And the beautiful thing about her is she keeps trying. She has a really true heart, and nothing holds her back, and she picks herself up.
But isn't that the key, don't you think, to success and to happiness? I mean, you know, I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs, and many of which have been extraordinarily successful. And Sara, the one sort of constant is they'll say, you know, I tried 3 other companies before I got to this one, or maybe 5 other companies, and they all failed. But there's a passion, right? Like a relentlessness. And I know you have another character in there who has that kind of passion to start his restaurant. And it's that kind of drive that gets someone through a lot of tough times. And you have to find that, right?
Right.
Sometimes within yourself.
Absolutely.
Tell us about your story, because I know you were a fashion designer who then said, you know what, this is my passion. I want to write. And you followed that passion.
It's something I always wanted to do. And, you know, it starts in college for me. And it started with fear, which is part of my drive to write this book, and why I go and speak to kids in, well, when I was living in the city, I would go into the inner city schools. I've gone to my college. Whoever will have me, I'll speak to them about writing and my journey to writing a book. But in college, I didn't major in creative writing because I was afraid. I didn't think I was good enough, even though that's what I wanted to do. So I majored in English literature. And then I graduated from college and moved to the city, which is where I wanted to be. But I had no idea what I could do with a lit major. I couldn't get an entry-level job as an assistant in a publishing house or a magazine, because that went to the creative writing majors. So I really kind of boxed myself into my own fears. And then I took the first job that I was offered, and it happened to be in fashion, and it paid decent, and
You were on a track.
And
you
I was
were on
on
a
there.
track.
I
And
was.
At some point, you have to say, "Wait, this is my life."
Right.
And I only got one. And so I need to make the right decisions. And sometimes it means in life taking a step back, right? Before you actually get ahead.
Right, right. And, you know, I put my whole self into fashion. I work night and day. Of course, you want to do your best at whatever you're doing. But 7 years later, I realized if I don't make a change and really do it, even though I would go home at night and write,
It's look, you know this. I don't know if the viewer knows this. I started as an opera singer, and from the time I was 14 years old, thought I was going to be a professional opera singer. And then I was in my early 20s, and I said, you know what? I don't really want to do this. And I couldn't get, when you're on track to do something your whole life, and then it all changes, it really forces you to think inward. And I agree, it's a very scary thing. So thank you, Sara, for sharing your story. Thank you for writing this book. I always cry at weddings.